So, I just want to start off this show with a milestone, a fact, if you will. So, as of the time of this recording, at 5 shows, Chris is officially the third all-time in podcasts in the Pixel Play family. At 5, overtaking Liv from Between Two Gamers. The actual co-host is finally in the top 3.
I'd just like to thank everybody, and I just would love to accept this award and increase in pay. Oh, I'm so excited to finally be here.
I mean, is 0 an increase of 0? I guess technically, no matter how you slice it, it could be an increase.
Yeah, 0 plus 0 has a plus sign in it.
Exactly. That's exactly how it works. Other than that, though, welcome to Cartridge and Quarters, episode number 3. I'm CSRadical, aka Adam. Yes, that's exactly what I said. And then Mr. Chris, aka Jin and Chris, the now third all-time Pixel Play podcast host.
I have to put that everywhere. I just have to hashtag that. It's going to be trending on Twitter for me alone. No one else is going to even know what the hell that is or care.
So like every other hashtag that I usually put out on anything I do. That's almost like my fun part of just like making up hashtags just so that no one ever sees it. But like one day somebody will take it and somebody will post that hashtag one day in their own thing and they'll be like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah, and then they'll take a picture of it and sell your tweet as an NFT.
Damn it. Damn it, where's my cut?
No, you can take the picture and sell it. I don't think you can sell someone else's tweet. I don't know.
You're asking me how NFTs work, and I barely know how DLC works sometimes, so. But yeah.
I don't even know how my car works.
So, we had 2 episodes where we had at least a couple of things to talk about. I guess on a retro show, it makes sense that eventually there's a week where there isn't, like, news stories. Who knew that, like, at some point, you can have a week where there isn't anything news-related about 20-plus-year-old games. Like, I'm shocked.
Yeah, I am. I'm actually shocked too.
In a way, I guess I'm more shocked that it took 3 episodes for this to happen.
Yeah, that's true. I was assuming we get here episode 1 and be like, so...
It's like, so hey guys, new podcast. There's no news stories, so we're just going to talk about games, which I guess granted on a gaming podcast wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No one listening would complain.
So unusual format. All right, so Square. Let's see. What else do I got to... But other than that, how are you doing on this fine Thursday evening as we head into a long weekend here, even though people are probably halfway into said long weekend by the time this video goes up?
They will. It'll be their Saturday morning, and they'll either be hungover from alcohol or turkey or something along those lines. What do people eat on Easter? I actually don't know. Is it turkey? My family has turkey, but I feel like we just default to turkey because I think that's all we know. Yeah,
I'm going to be the one that probably sits here and has like dumplings or something this weekend, so who knows?
See, that's the kind of Easter feast I want. Just pile of dumplings.
I mean, we as white people, we seem to have this interest of like having Chinese food somewhere near Christmas, because I guess that's a thing, so.
Yeah, that's like Christmas Eve dinner somehow.
It's interesting how that works out.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to start off with something new.
Okay.
And something that's probably going to make us all angry.
Uh-oh. Here we go. I'm ready.
So I'm going to make this a weekly segment now. So this is going to be something you guys get to deal with every show. I'm not sure if it'll be at the same time of the show, but I feel like doing it here because why not?
Uh-oh.
This week in We're Old.
I'm already pissed.
So time to see all the interesting birthdays of games and game-related things since 2002 at this point.
Oh, see, I love this and hate it at the same time. It's so fun and fascinating to hear of games that you probably didn't think of for a while, and then you realize you haven't thought about them for a while because you aged like a crazy amount, and I'm old as fuck. That's all I got.
Now here's the upside. I did my first list for the last 7 days, so from the 8th of April to the 14th, and I didn't come up with as much as I thought I would. So it's surprising. However, there are kind of some rules I'm putting into this. If I actually took any interesting name that was on that list, this list would take forever. But the problem is a lot of these lists where I find them, it's like, oh, this game released in Germany. Oh, this game released in Taiwan. So I try to limit it to 3 things. It's either out in Japan, it's either out in North America, or it's either a European-wide release. Not like just in France, not like just in the UK. I mean Europe. So it's like actually like released to a bunch of people. Because I mean, if we did it by country, we'd be here all day.
No, we would. Today would be the Belgian podcast of what games came out in Belgium.
So at this point, I've managed to counter up a list of only 10 things, which I'm honestly surprised it was only that much. I swear when I did this 15 minutes before we started recording here that I was going to end up finding like 50. Because you figure from 2002 all the way back to when gaming really started, like you can go as far back as the 70s, maybe even the 60s. You'd figure you'd find a couple of things, but not as much as I thought to. It could also just be a dead week. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks when we keep doing this show. But for now, here are 10 things. So on the 8th of April, we'll start there. And we'll be going in from the youngest to the oldest. So you can feel really old by the end of that list. So in 1994, in both North America and Japan, for the Neo Geo, Windjammers, which is a very underrated and underappreciated game. I think if you've never played Windjammers before, I believe Windjammers 2 is on Xbox Game Pass. And for those who've never heard of Windjammers before, it's like if you took an arcade like 1v1 game about just Frisbee and like soccer at the same time.
Yeah, I remember I've never played that game, but I do remember a lot of screenshots in like Game Pro magazine or whatever the heck I used to read back then.
I managed to play it when it came out on, did I get it on either Steam or it might have even been Game Pass, but I played it, it was like a remake of it, right? And I played it for the first time and I sat there going, oh my God, I wish I'd seen this in arcades, because this also defaulted for arcades as well. And I was so surprised that it was a game that I'd never played, because it seemed like the kind of thing that I would walk across when I was like playing, like just walking around like any arcade and just being like, holy crap, like this looks like fun. This is just like ultimate Frisbee throwing that just turns into like this almost like an anime battle like Frisbee game.
What?
And it's just really intense. Like, and when I did end up playing it against real people, it is stressful. Holy crap, it's stressful. Because it's really fast. Points come to you very quickly. It's like when you play air hockey at the movie theater with your friends, and like when it starts getting further and further closer to the end of the game and you start getting really intense. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that the whole game. That's Windjammers.
Oh. So fun, but stressful. Okay, I can get on board.
Yeah.
I can get on board.
Yeah. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, I know Windjammers 2 for sure is on Xbox Game Pass. It's just one of those things I've never gotten to. But yeah, that is the first one, and that is from 1994. So the original's quite old. Old.
Yeah.
But then we go further. 1988.
Oh.
We have two on the same day. Both for the same console, for the Nintendo Entertainment System in Japan. Both are Japanese releases. The NES port of Donkey Kong.
Wow.
And Double Dragon.
Oh, Double Dragon was so much fun. I mean, Donkey Kong was fun. I played that a lot in arcade, though. I didn't have it on NES.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, it's like when you play the Mario Brothers game, not Super Mario Brothers, the Mario Brothers game, and you sit there and be like, oh, Mario, that's going to be cool, and you play Mario Brothers, and you're like, oh, this isn't Mario. And then, of course, as a young guy like me, who grew up on the SNES era, and I say young, ironically, you play Donkey Kong Country, and that's all you remember. And then you play Donkey Kong, you're like, oh, cool, I'll get to play like what the original was. This is nothing like Donkey Kong. What is this garbage?
You got to just jump over.
Not to say that Donkey Kong's actually bad, but
no. For what it was and when it came out, it was fantastic and addictive. Even though there's like 3 or 4 levels in there just on repeat, I would sink some quarters in there just to jump over some stupid barrels.
Or eventually you would just play it constantly in your parents' car on your Game Boy with a Game & Watch gallery.
Yes, I do remember when they did that.
Those were those were the things too. They were like, oh my God, I'm young. You would play that game and be like, holy crap, I'm young because this looks old as dirt. Who played these games? You just see sticks go beep, 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 beep. And you're like, is this what the past was? It's like when you watch a scary movie from 1950 and you're like, that was scary.
Yeah.
And then you remember that back then, everything was literally demons and religious retribution, so everything scared you.
Yep.
But regardless, 1988, Donkey Kong and Double Dragon.
Busy day.
April 9th, 2 games here. 2001, in North America, for the N64,
Ooh.
Dr. Mario 64, which I totally forgot existed.
I also forgot that existed, and that sounds pretty late in the N64's life, isn't it?
That would be pretty late. I mean, yeah, we're talking like late end of N64 and PlayStation at that point.
Yeah,
and also it's Dr. Mario, so I guess they were like, well, we don't really have to put that much effort, so let's just make a quick game for this console so the people that still own them can justify some extra purchasing.
Yeah, for sure. Because they were probably debating, like, do we throw this as like a launch title for the GameCube? And then they're like, no, it's fucking Dr. Mario.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute. He's going to be in Smash Melee. Who cares about a solo game?
Imagine that's why he's there. It's actually the N64 version, and it was a big deal at the time for him to be added to Smash.
It's like, here's our excuse. We didn't actually want to make another character, so we just did a really basic copy.
Oh, God.
Which Melee was totally not, notable
never.
for. Not like so many characters being literal carbon copies of others.
Yeah. I mean, the system could only do so much. The discs were like tiny. Okay.
Thank God for newer Smash Brothers where there's actually like differentiation between everything.
Oh yeah. Oh, new Smash is so good. Oh, so good.
But hey, that's a current thing. We don't talk about that current, present garbage.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. 10th and 11th have nothing. Actually, sorry, I didn't finish the 9th. I almost forgot.
Oh yes, you said 2 games.
1985.
Oh.
NES, also in Japan. Soccer. Just soccer.
Oh my God, I forgot that on the NES they had like baseball, soccer. Like, how the hell did they get that? I mean, it's the only game.
I mean, back then there wasn't like FIFA licensed games. EA Sports wasn't sitting there doing microtransactions yet.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, microtransactions on soccer must have been crazy.
And you got to think of like what the box art for those games look like. It's like how basic bitch like the Super or the Mega Drive games always were, where it was just that fucking white and blue like checkered, like wire thing.
Yeah, and it has a pixelated image of like a person kicking a soccer ball. And it's like the most generic, like that could be anything from any team. This could be World Cup. This could be local soccer teams. Who knows? Like, you can't tell anything.
Pro wrestling was like just a couple of fists and like a smoke pile, like it's a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner fucking thing.
Yeah. Oh, box art from back then. Oh, so fucking.
It's so weird how like box art in those days are probably the best they ever been because they were really unique and not like what everything is these days, where a lot of them are really just a guy with his back turned and his silhouette sort of deal.
Yeah. It's trying to be an epic movie poster.
We'll probably end up talking about him a few times over the course of the show's life cycle, but if you haven't seen Video Game Donkey's video on box art, it pretty much explains just how much better box art was in the old days.
Oh, yeah.
Even for games that sucked, at least they knew how to sell it back then. Nowadays, they just do the same 5 copies of stuff, or you just put anime girls all over and it sells. That's usually the strategy now.
Yeah. Original box art kicked ass. Except the Mega Man ones, those were weird.
Depends, because there are good ones, but there are also the bad ones.
Yeah, was it North America that got the bad ones?
We got the bad ones. Europe actually gets a really... If you've never seen the European NES Mega Man cover, that one's actually really cool.
Oh, okay. So it was just us. We got that weird...
Oh, yeah. Remember, we didn't get the actual Final Fantasy 2 and 3 or Super Mario 2. Like, we're stupid. So they just put, like, the most dipshit, like, ugly art, and they figure, these idiots will buy it.
Yeah. And then we did. Yeah, I think it was, like, top selling.
It says man on the cover. They'll buy it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
10th and 11th, like I said, before I forgot about soccer, have nothing. Okay. April 12th, though, has a Europe-specific release, so this is not the default. Like, that's the thing. I'm sure people will be in the comments on this episode or whenever we do these segments being like, actually, that's not the original release date. I know, but then we wouldn't have much of a list, so that's kind of... But
it's our rules. We make them.
In 2001, for the N64, in Europe specifically, Banjo-Tooie.
Oh.
So Banjo-Tooie is now nearly... Actually, Banjo-Tooie is now over 20 years old.
Jeez.
I never even played Banjo-Kazooie on the N64. That was just one of those games that like I never got my hands on.
I played, but at a friend's house. They had it, I didn't. And I mean, it's if you've played a 3D platformer, it's the same as every other single one. Insert character, usually an animal here. They have 100 different collectibles per level. Jump. It's adorable. The music is fun.
I mean, it was basically like Spyro.
Yeah,
I don't know
Spyro.
which came first, but
Hmm.
Brain would say Spyro, which, you know what? Let's have fun.
Yeah,
Spyro the
kinda think it'd be
Dragon.
Spyro.
Let's see. The original would have been 10th of September 1998, and then Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, I think that's got to be 98 or 99.
Come on here. June 1998. So very much they were very much producing it at the same time. So it's hard to say if one copied the other.
Yeah. It was just, I think Mario 64 did so well. Everyone's like, let's do that.
Yeah, everybody had to do it at that point. I mean, it's like anything else. Once like the marquee game comes out, you go, okay, we need 50 of those.
Yeah.
It's
Make
like
Donkey Kong 3D.
it's like when Mortal Kombat. I always loved Mortal Kombat because as soon as Mortal Kombat came out, the amount of fighting games that flooded the market. And if you actually deep dive on some of the games in like the 5-year span after the original came out, oh my god, you can find so much garbage.
Yeah, they're crazy weird.
It's so bad. Some of them are like, they feel like they would have been made as a meme joke for like April Fools today.
Yep.
Like how bad some of these were.
Oh, yeah.
Or they just be mobile games, one or the other. Heyo.
Mobile Mortal Kombat games. Well, that'd be tough.
After that, April 13th, 2. One of them is a company. So in 1984, this is a name that a lot of people may not know, but the Williams Electronics Game Incorporated company launched in 1984. For those who don't know, they made arcade games such as Defenders, Sinistar, Stargate, and a lot of different pinball machines over like a 10-year span. And then they basically became like a slot machine company, but they were in the arcade game industry for a good while.
Oh, pinball. Oh, pinball's so fun.
Have you ever seen Sinistar before?
I don't think so.
So imagine like one of those games where you're just flying in space trying to survive like a bunch of ships coming at you. Except the Sinistar, where it gets his name, is this creepy like demonic like ship that has a face, like a demon face on it. And the first time it comes out, it has this high-pitched like death scream that it's coming to kill you. And like we're talking like 80s graphics, so it sounds horrifying even to this day. And it's again one of those games that like as soon as he comes, you know you're fucked. It's like when you played that old school like cross-country skiing game when we were kids, and there was like the friggin' abominable snowman that just comes after you.
See, that I played.
That's the kind of thing. It's just that in space.
Oh, that's creepy. That would have freaked me out as a kid. Even now, that would freak me out now. I don't think I'm playing it. I've made a decision.
You want to talk about an interesting remake? Remaking Sinistar, so you have this demon face ship trying to cheat. Like, imagine a horror space flight sim game.
Oh, that would be. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm kind of interested
that's
again.
That's true
kind of
Dead Space right there.
Yeah, that's true Dead Space, the real Dead Space. Maybe that's what the remake or whatever of that game is.
Although it's funny because no one can hear you scream in space. Well, Sinistar, you'll fucking hear his screaming. So
yeah, he defies all physics.
And then in 1978, as just a complete fun random one, for the Apple II system in North America, Yahtzee.
They made a Yahtzee game all the way back then?
Apparently.
Oh my god. Is it made by Ubisoft? Because don't they make all this? They make like Monopoly.
Did Ubisoft even exist at that point?
No, I don't think so. They're definitely 80s. They would have been NES time, I bet.
Founded in 1986, so almost.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, because they do like Monopoly and Uno and like all those generic games. They would have grabbed Yahtzee as soon as they fucking could.
Well, like then. All the ones that you would have gotten in cereal boxes when we were younger.
Yeah.
I still remember like because there was a point where they came out. I think it was like 6 of them. So you had like Sorry, Clue is one of them, and I'll get back to Clue in a minute.
Yeah.
I think Roller Coaster Tycoon would be included in them.
That's actually how I got introduced to Roller Coaster Tycoon. It came in my cereal, and I got addicted right after that, and like I've loved it ever since.
I want to say Jeopardy was one of those back in the day. Wheel of Fortune, maybe. It might also be like a different time where they were also releasing those PC games in cereal boxes. Also, think about that for a second. You could get PC games for like the price of a cereal box. That's weird when you think about it. Nowadays, you want to buy Jeopardy on the PSN store, it's like $30.
Yeah.
Back then, what, probably $2.99 in a box of Lucky Charms?
Yeah. If you want to get Roller Coaster Tycoon at that price now, you got to definitely wait for that Steam Summer Sale, because that's the only platform I also know you can get the original.
Yeah,
maybe GOG games.
I can't remember the full list. Maybe Yahtzee was one of them. Maybe it was like Scrabble too. But Clue I remembered vividly because whenever you accused someone in that specific game, it gave this like really creepy like reenactment of it, where it's like stormy outside, it's dark, and you see like the silhouettes of like Colonel Mustard choking you with the noose, and it was just fucking weird. Like as a kid, I'm pretty sure I had nightmares because of that game, and it's a board game.
Yeah, they definitely didn't hold back with certain kids things back then. They were like, they'll be fine. They can handle stuff.
No,
yeah, some of it was creepy.
No, we couldn't.
No, we couldn't. It all hurt.
And then lastly, April 14th, 2 games. I'm finishing with the best one. 1999, though. In Japan for the Game Boy Color, Pokemon Pinball.
Oh, I remember that. There was such a pinball craze for so many games, like Sonic Pinball, Pokemon Pinball. I think Kirby had a pinball.
Yeah, later Mario would have one in like the Game Boy Advance era. Sonic Spinball is still the king to me out of all of those.
Oh, 100%.
Just for the first level, the music is dope.
I always replayed the first level because I would die on the second one.
Well, yeah.
So I was like, all right, doing the first one again.
Of course,
but yeah,
of course.
The music was so good on that. And it kind of connected to the Saturday AM cartoon, too. Because you'd get into that bonus level and free your friends from eggs, and it was all the characters from Saturday AM's Sonic show. Like Sally Squirrel and Antoine, the whatever he is, a fox or something. I don't know what the heck he is. But yeah, you could get all the characters out of there rescued. I was like, what? Worlds colliding. Blew my mind. As a kid.
And then lastly, to finish off this list, 1998, in North America, for the PC, another company laid in the wake of EA, Bullfrog Games coming out with Theme Hospital. Still a nostalgia, if there was ever nostalgia for me as a kid.
Yeah, that was such a good series, such a good game.
And it's one of those games, too, that, like, I don't think I was ever good at, but I didn't care because all I can remember is, like, Kit Kat machines. And when you had that machine that had to, like, deflate some guy's head like he was in big head mode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, so many good memories of
also,
that.
Also, the intro to that game was weird. Because it was like you getting a guy was injured in a helicopter, and then they brought him in the hospital, tried to do stuff with him, and it didn't really work out. So they took out a chainsaw and then dumped him in like the fiery pits of hell by the looks of it.
Oh yeah, there was some weird like that.
It was like some weird FMV cutscene. It was so bizarre.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Wow, that's weird now that I think about it.
Yeah, isn't it interesting how like you can't remember some things, but there are just things that are so completely random but stick out in your memory for till the end of time.
Yeah, like I remember the actual just gameplay of playing the game, but that FMV, dang.
Yeah,
that's a whole other experience.
Speaking of things that scared the crap out of kids when they were little.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is everything in the last 7 days that are going to make us specifically feel old. Now, there are probably games out there that you know that might have come out this week. And obviously list those in the comments below, but we always can't get everything. And there also have to be games that I recognize. It's really hard to like just pick a list. And I'm like, I'm sure maybe one person will know this game. Maybe.
Yeah.
So I try to pick stuff that at least is either like interesting, funny, or, you know, actually a big name. So yeah, that's why we pulled out Yahtzee, because it was funny.
Also, such a recognizable name, though. Come on, it's Yahtzee.
Yeah, like the guy from The Escapist, right?
Yeah, just that guy.
So
it was a game about him in the 70s.
So we were talking about Sonic Spinball earlier, and it kind of made me wonder. Like, there was definitely a time in that retro generation of games where like, if you were a famous property, everything got a spin-off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everything would get spin-offs. Like, except for, like, Zelda, which was kind of free of most things. But like the main ones always got stuff. Like Mario has a million different things. Sonic had a million different things, most of them that weren't very good.
Yeah.
Whereas Mario was just like, hey, we're just going to keep churning out like 7, 8, 9s every single time the Mario name is slapped on it. So I wanted to ask you, what are some of your favorite spin-off titles?
Spin-off, like of specific
just
franchise
anything,
or just
anything in general? Like if you want to throw it just
Gosh.
Gwent on its own, because I know you're a Witcher guy.
Gwent. I haven't played the standalone, but I might as well have because of the amount of Gwent I've played in Witcher 3. I think 30 hours of my 60 or 70 hours I currently have is just Gwent. Especially once I got that on the Switch and I could just Gwent on the go. Oh my god, that was my undoing. Spin-offs. I mean, I was a Sonic kid growing up. Mario was good, but I didn't have a Super Nintendo until the N64 was already out. I had an NES before I was really a gamer, so my only Nintendo I had going was always the Game Boy. And I don't remember too many spin-offs of a lot of games. It was always just like the downgraded version. Like you'd get Donkey Kong Country on the Super NES, so you get Donkey Kong Land on the Game Boy and stuff. I will throw one out from Super Nintendo. Mario Paint was a huge favorite of a spin-off just because of, I don't know, like the nonsense. Like I just remember me and my friends trying to create music in the music creation mode. And then like the actual coloring was just like, it was Microsoft Paint, only you paid a lot more for it because there's Mario on it.
Yeah, it really was a bizarre thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just remember like, all right, well, I'm going to make Yoshi this color this time. I'm going to make him, he's yellow. Now he's purple today, whatever. Like I'd play around with that. I found that a lot of fun. The fly swatting game, the gnat swatting or whatever, where you clicked on the mouse to just fly swat and try and like beat that like little mini game in there. That was fun. I really did like that as like a spin-off or whatever. I guess that's a spin-off. I don't even really know what to call it. And then Sonic-wise, definitely like Sonic Spinball, like we mentioned. That was a huge favorite of mine. Sonic also had a coloring kind of game like the Mario Paint that came with a mouse and stuff too, and a lot of people didn't even know that. I wanted that thing so bad because I'd played Mario Paint at my friend's house and I was like, I'm the Sonic kid. There's a Sonic version. I'm going to play it. It was like so much worse than Mario Paint. I still had it. I got it eventually. I played it a lot, but definitely not my favorite.
Yeah, there's definitely been some random ones over the years, like Sonic Pinball, Sonic R, which was more or less notable just because it was really weird playing video games that had like lyrical music in them because we were so used to them never having that.
Yeah.
I still can't get past hearing "Can you feel the sunshine?"
Oh yeah.
Which again,
those songs are so good.
If anything is ever like video game music, it's sentences that make no sense.
Oh yeah, 100%. Looking at you, Kingdom Hearts. All of your lyrics, like, do I have to meet your father? Like, what? What are you talking about?
It's like there are no adults in this game.
Yeah. They were saving a Disney princess. What is this theme song?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll take any Utada Hikaru I can get, but
oh, it's catchy as fuck, and I have it on Spotify going all day, every day, as well as all these Sonic songs. There's like a Sonic Cafe playlist that Sega created on Spotify, which is just all the lyrical songs. I don't know what it has to do with being in a cafe. No cafe really plays that, or else I'd be there right now. We'd be podcasting live. But yeah, like I love all those songs. Oh, it's so good.
Other than that, though, I'm trying to think of like some of the ones that stand out for me. There are a couple of weird ones, like Mario is Missing would be one. That like
you enjoyed Mario is Missing?
Yeah. Well, remember, I'm also like at the time 8 or 9. I'm like a bully child because all he did was like studying in school. So anything that was like an information swell was big for me.
Oh, okay.
So it was the same thing of like whenever you played Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Like I always loved that.
Love those.
Like especially the game show. Like that was my favorite thing as a kid to watch. Like if there was any game show I love watching, like sure, I'd always like the Wheel of Fortune. I'd always like Price is Right. But like anytime that like TV, believe it was TVO that would have had it here in Canada.
I think TVO, yeah.
Whenever that game show came on, because it's the one where the kids like had to do geography, where they had the big like buzzers that they had to drag across the floor. And I remember getting so mad because I knew a lot of geography as a kid. I've kind of forgotten some of it since, but like I was pretty good at geography when I was a kid. And every single time I'd watch, it'd be like, "No, you idiot! It's there! It's right there! You passed it 5 times!"
It's in Paris, you fucking idiot.
But then again, I was also the kid that I remember vividly watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and the $500,000 question was, which of these is not a Pokemon?
Yeah.
And me getting really mad, being like, I could have won $500,000 without thinking about the other 13 questions I would have had to answer first.
Exactly. It was hard for a reason because it's like smart people can make it this far, and then normal people know this one. But
yeah, it's like this is the anti-normie question.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Mario is Missing is definitely one of them. You obviously go to like all the sports games, like and the kart racers, like obviously Mario Kart, all of them. Mario Golf, all of them actually. Mario Tennis, yeah, pretty much all of them.
Yeah, those are really good too.
What else? Is there anything outside of Mario or Sonic that really stands out? And that's the thing. Like, there are a lot of spin-offs, but man, they are so much of like 2 titles.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon Stadium. I mean, Pokemon Snap. That definitely is a spin-off, and I loved that game a lot. I used to you could take your cartridge or whatever to Blockbuster and actually put it in and print off your photos directly from your game. And I think they came out as stickers or something. Oh my god, the amount of money I wasted on that. I had like a sticker book of my own photos. God, I should have just saved all my money and bought a real camera. I could have just taken actual photos.
Yeah, like there's a couple of other like weird ones. Like you could go into the territory of like, I don't know. You could go into, well, screw it. Should I just meme it and say Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball for the fun of it?
As long as it came out before 2002.
Well, for joke purposes, let's see. Let's see what Google has to say. The original, well, it's Xbox era, so
that's close.
It's almost 20.
Oh, is it 2003
January of 20 or of 2003, yep.
Oh, we got another 6 months.
It's getting there. 6 months. Can you not count? It's 10, it's 8.
Oh
actually.
My gosh, it's April. What am I talking about?
Holy crap, dude. Hang in there.
I'm trying. I try.
But yeah, I really can't, like, there's probably so many and I'm just blanking because my brain's just like, Mario game. Yeah,
that's a problem. It's all the really big ones. That's why my brain was Mario, Sonic, like immediately. Because it's also all the franchise characters, right? You got to be able to have some characters, throw them into a different world or a different situation, different genre, and it's like, hey, spin-off, look.
So I'm quickly Googling some of them. So it depends on what you consider a spin-off, I guess, at this point. But some of the names that are coming up that I think are interesting, Final Fantasy Tactics, obviously.
Oh, yes. How did I not think of that? All of those. All of the Tactics games.
The Metroid Prime games would be considered as such, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've actually never played a Metroid Prime game.
Same, actually. Because, I mean, I never owned a GameCube, so I never really had access to any of them.
No, I did own a GameCube, but again, much like a lot of other consoles, I got it after it was basically already dead at like a reused place for cheap for like $80, and I was like, time for me to enjoy this entire generation in one weekend.
I can't believe I forgot about this one specifically, the Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy Color.
Oh, I remember when that was coming out because I was already really hard into the actual trading card game. Not playing as much, more just collecting and trading. I mean, it's called the trading card game. But yeah, when that was coming out on Game Boy, I was like, oh my god, I need it. And then I never got it. I don't know how.
Let's see. What else we got here? Oh, well, it's not retro, but I still like calling it out. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which is just a fantastic game.
I mean, it might as well be retro. It's based in the...
Yeah, I mean, I guess 80s. Technically.
Yeah, it's in the future in the 80s.
What else here? That's a fun one. Typing of the Dead. Which, not gonna lie, really loved it because I actually like word per minute, like level typing games. I love that shit.
Yeah, me too. I like to practice my typing.
Okay, well, here's a bit, like, let's counter all the good ones with a really bad one.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero.
I bought that. Oh, I'm an idiot.
It's such a bad game.
It's so horrible. You can't take the fighting game, literally not update the code, and make it a platformer.
And also, you actually have to hit a button to turn around.
Oh, right.
It's like, hey, you want to play a side-scroller, but instead of just, turning the joystick the other direction, you have to hit B first before you can move the other way?
Yeah, that wasn't a good game. But it's funny. It is very funny, and I almost would play it again for the funniness of it, because it's so bad it's fun to play.
Also, do you want to play a game where you're Sub-Zero, but at the start of the game you have no ice powers?
Oh, right. He had no ice powers. I didn't get very far.
They made an RPG out of Mortal Kombat, and it was weird. And then they tried to do a better one with Shaolin monks, and it was okay, I guess.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, I didn't get that one. I just stuck to the perfect one, the Sub-Zero one.
I also forgot that there was a Mortal Kombat Special Forces game with Jax, but I have no memory of that one.
Yeah, I never played that one. Oh, Mortal Kombat would definitely have... Like, there was... Wait, was Combat Cart just in one of the games, or was it a standalone?
It was either an Armageddon. I think that was Armageddon that one was in.
Oh, okay. That's actually, I would play that, because a cart version of anything is good. As long as you make the mechanics good, it's going to be good. It's going to be funny.
I mean, cart games, especially in the retro era now, like they all were so good. Like you look at Crash Team Racing, the original, Diddy Kong Racing, obviously Mario Karts.
Yeah.
Like there was a good age for that stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's funny how like up until Disney is apparently coming out with like a new one.
Yeah.
It was really just Mario Kart and like the odd Sonic one, and that was it. Yeah. There really hasn't ever been like anybody else trying to do Mario Kart with like licensed material.
There's a Nickelodeon one, I think. Oh, Garfield Kart. How are we forgetting that? That's just everywhere.
Yeah, how are we forgetting Garfield Kart?
Oh, God. A game. Why does it exist?
So, we've mentioned it a couple of times now. Why don't we just straight up talk about Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is so good. Oh, the movie, the original movie, also retro in the 90s. The games. I went to a Mortal Kombat tournament growing up where it was literally like 20 people, all, two at a time, going to the Super Nintendo to play. I sucked, but it was just so much fun to try. And I get like halfway. Like, it was a hard game. But, man.
Shao Kahn is kind of a dick.
Yeah, I didn't get to him. I didn't even get close.
I'm trying to think of like which boss I hated the most as a kid. Shang Tsung was like sort of doable. Shao Kahn was pretty bad. Motaro, the freaking like centaur guy, was also a gigantic pain in the ass.
Yeah, there was like some sort of trick you needed for all of them. You just had to like spam a specific move that they would just like get kind of locked into this one little like fall down, and then you hit them and they immediately fall down, which then you hit them, and you did like get them stuck in some sort of rhythm.
It was probably the old like jump and kick.
Yeah.
Which still works to this day, because that's how I got through most of the story mode in Mortal Kombat Aftermath. Not that I'm a bad player. It's just there's something really amusing about just spamming a move on an AI and just constantly breaking it.
Yeah, I can't think. It's just, they can't do it.
Because, like, I remember the first time that I saw Mortal Kombat, and it was jarring to me because I grew up as the kid that my parents wouldn't even let me watch Power Rangers when I was growing up because it was too violent.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, literally, on every Saturday night, I would watch somebody get their face caved in hockey.
Oh, yeah.
And once in a blue moon, wrestling would be on, and I'd watch guys, yeah, it's fake, but still guys getting beaten up, hit with chairs. Actually, back in those days, they did get hit with chairs.
Yeah, it did get hit by chairs, yeah.
Concussions are no joke. But, like, it was so amusing how Power Rangers was a thing that was too violent, because sparks, I guess.
Yeah, it was actually pyrotechnics that we were afraid of.
If I dug far enough, I'm sure I could look far back enough and find, like, all these news stories about how, like, Channel 5 news stations were just saying, oh, look at the violence that these kids are taking part in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Instead of, sitting there being like, wait, sports exist. Hockey literally has people punching each other in the face. Football literally has people running full speed into each other.
Yeah. And those are real. They're not even made up. They're not fantasy.
It's almost like adults, especially parents, are kind of hypocritical.
Very. Extremely.
I know it's shocking. But yeah, the first time I saw Mortal Kombat was like, oh my god, this is so cool. It's like the forbidden fruit. Look at all the blood. Oh my god, he ripped a spine out of this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was obsessed with finding the different finisher moves. So I wasn't even trying to beat, like, I knew I couldn't actually beat the game at the time. Actually, I don't think I probably beat it once or twice, who knows. But I was just like, all right, what's a character? And then I'd have like some sort of magazine and it would have like, these are the different finishers for Liu Kang. And I would just go in and practice doing them so that I could, turn into the dragon and like bite down on the character and eat half of them and all that kind of stuff. All the different moves. I was obsessed. It was so very violent, but fun to pull off the move and get to. It was very rewarding, because they weren't easy.
No, and that was back in the day too, where like the internet didn't just tell you all the secrets you need to know. Or in the case of Mortal Kombat now, it's literally you pause and it can tell you what the fatality combination is.
Yeah, now they're just like in the game. There's no fun in discovering it. It
Yeah,
should be like if you do it once, then it's in the game to
there
remind
should
you.
be
Like,
there
hey, you
should be
pulled
a
this one off.
secret one too.
Yeah, yeah, because I would wait for the new Game Pro, Electronic Gaming Monthly, whatever magazine was coming, and it wouldn't even have all of them. It'd be like, all right, this month Sonya Blade, here's her moves. You have to wait like another month before and
Well, yeah,
run to the
you gotta
convenience
keep
store.
that subscription somehow.
I didn't even subscribe. I would just go to the convenience store every month with my, I don't know, $6. I have no idea how much stuff cost back then. And just grab the magazine and buy it. But me run into the store to buy it was like half the experience. I was like, it was that and Sonic the Hedgehog comic books every single time.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I remember one of the things I really remember the most about Mortal Kombat was like when the trilogy came out, and on PC of all things, that was also an interesting thing, seeing Mortal Kombat on computers for the first time.
Mhm.
Instead of actually playing the game, what we would do is we would take they would have like this video package where it would just show like all the alities, like the fatalities, the animalities, the babalities, the friendships,
Yeah.
and it would be like this 30-minute thing, and we would just sit there and watch and giggle at all of them because some of them, yeah, were pretty violent, but then there was also like the one where Striker's just a crossing guard and
Yeah. Yeah, the friendships and the babalities were really funny. Just turning somebody into a baby. It was like, there's baby Melina.
you get some like the weird ones where like Scorpion would turn into a penguin and poop out like an explosive egg or something like that.
Oh, yeah, some of these I don't remember all of them, but a lot of them, oh, they have a good place in my heart.
Nowadays, we're just getting like, okay, how graphic can we make the insides of this person as we cut them into like 17 pieces?
Yeah.
They
Before there
don't.
was a charm to it.
They still try to have a charm to some of them, but they usually are kind of limited to like Johnny Cage generally now, or just any of the cages, because Cassie tends to get like a couple of interesting ones, like
Yep.
just putting a bubble gum in a guy's wound or something.
All right.
Or no, I think yeah, it was putting like a bubble gum in like the hole in the guy's lung that she left.
Oh. Oh,
Or like
that's
Johnny
brutal.
Cage, like doing the "Here's Johnny's," he rips a hole out in the guy. Like, yeah, that's their version of charm now. But most of the time, it's like just okay. How gross can we make this?
Yeah, yeah, now it's all about being gross.
Which
Yeah.
I guess that is kind of the way that things have gone these days.
Of course.
So out of like most of the older ones, like what's the one that you would consider to be like your favorite?
Mortal Kombat 2. And I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite or it's just the one I played so much that I have the most nostalgia for. Because by the time the third one came out, I think I was playing it a little bit and I picked it up, but the N64 had been coming out and all this other stuff, and everybody was moving on to other things. I didn't know who most of the characters were because they changed a lot. Like the first game came out and all those characters transferred into the second game, and then they just kind of added on top. And I felt like the third one is when they started to kind of like some characters didn't show up, and then there was new ones, and I didn't necessarily find them as interesting. But I think it was mostly just I didn't find them interesting because I played the second one so many years earlier, and it kind of just moved on. But I would say the second one. What about
Yeah,
you?
for me, it would have been Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 specifically, because that's the one that I
Okay.
remember. Probably for the same reasons. Like, it's just the one that I kind of grew up with the most.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be Mortal Kombat 4, I can tell you that much.
No,
Mortal Kombat
No,
4 is kind of bad.
I didn't like that. Yeah, I would definitely say like of all the Mortal Kombats, like newer ones aside, it's kind of like the original trilogy is like untouchable for like how good they are. Like even now, like you pop it in, you have a TV that'll play it, like fantastic. Like you can still pop those in and enjoy them just like you did back then. It's still going to be just as tight. It's still going to be just as funny and charming. Whereas you take something like Mortal Kombat 4 on N64, and did that also come out on PlayStation? Actually, I don't remember.
Which one?
Mortal Kombat 4?
Yes, eventually. Yeah, it started out in the arcade machines, then went to PS1, N64, and eventually Windows.
Yeah, you're not putting that in now, and that charm is going. Whatever charm may have been there was not staying. There's no way.
I forgot about the gold version that was on Dreamcast that came out a couple years later.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not. No, that's not the one I get.
So yeah, like at this point, the history that would exist would be Mortal Kombat, the original, in 92. 2 was out in 93. 3 was in 95. Ultimate 3 also in 95. The trilogy was in 96. Sub-Zero was 97. 4 was also 97. Then the re-release in gold was 99. Special Forces in 2001. And Mortal Kombat Advance in 2001. And once we hit November this year, Deadly Alliance will be the first like PlayStation 2 one, or Xbox One or GameCube one, I should say, to come out, because that was a 2002 release. Wow. And unfortunately, that's when we get into the real bad stuff, because that PS2 era was the period of Mortal Kombat was not good.
No, I was trying to be something that different, I guess, or they just couldn't find their footing.
It never really works in a 3D plane. Like, that was the problem. No. They tried to make it 3D, and it's like, very few fighting games do that, and especially not in the traditional format of fighting games that we see now. Like, if they had tried to make it into a like a hack and slash like kind of fighting game, it might have worked, but that wouldn't have been a fighting game at that point. It just would have been, you know, any other game in that era that was just tap 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 to make things go away. It really took until they brought it back in the reboot in 2011, where it kind of finally came back. Like that's
it was like a decade. Old school feel. Yeah, I didn't play any of those ones in the middle during that. As soon as I even just saw one review or some screenshots of the first of those PS2 ones, I was like, I'm out. There's no way in heck I'm trying a single one of these.
Yeah, I unfortunately played all of them.
Ooh.
Deception, though, I thought was interesting, just because Deception had a really interesting story mode that was like an adventure game, where you played as like a character completely like away from the entire universe.
Huh.
And it's how it introduced like the big dragon guy that showed up in Deception.
Oh yes.
So like it was an interesting thing. It was really like playing like almost an adventure RPG that also led into fights, but it still had the fight system that wasn't that great. If they put like Deception's Conquest, was it Conquest mode? Yeah, Conquest mode. No, wait. Yeah, okay. I had to quickly look to make sure I wasn't crazy, but yeah, Conquest mode. If they did that in like the Mortal Kombat games today, like if you had, it probably wouldn't be within Mortal Kombat because it would take a lot more space than the fighting game would now. But like if you made a separate game that was like the Conquest mode in Deception, and just the fights in that game were the actual like fighting game, like that would actually work pretty interesting. Like if you could have like an Uncharted like scale adventure game and just the battle scenes were always 2D fights.
That would be really cool.
It'd be kind of cool. Like being able to play as like, I don't know, like what character would you even use right away? Like, I mean, you could just do everybody really if you just want to walk around and sort like each, like there would be several different chapters where you play as different people in various parts of the worlds, because there are all the realms too, so you can get crazy into that. By the way, yeah, all the lore in Mortal Kombat that everybody totally knew through all the games, especially the originals.
I only probably recently actually read about all the lore. I think it's when I finally played the reboot.
Well, that's how most people actually learned what the story was, because the reboot actually did it for them. It's like, oh, that's all the text that I didn't read.
Yeah, once that happened, I went back and read all the lore for like the PS2 stuff, because I was like, all right, I need to understand why we have to go back in time to fix everything or whatever happened in that.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, the movie was great, which I will still... I don't care what anybody says. I still say to this day, the original Mortal Kombat movie is the best video game movie of all time.
I would agree with that.
I will fight people on that.
Yeah.
Because people will be like, oh, it's too cheesy. I'm like, that's why it was good. Because it was exactly what Mortal Kombat is.
Yeah, the games were kind of cheesy. They had friendships. They had babalities.
You had Liu Kang doing a bicycle kick going...
Yeah, that was perfect. The casting was perfect. They kept to the source material. They didn't try and change anything and make it different. It was literally like, there's a tournament that's going to happen. Let's do this.
Also, have you played the newest Mortal Kombat?
11?
Yeah.
No, not yet. I will.
Yeah, because Aftermath has the original film Shang Tsung as the voice actor in Shang Tsung in that game.
They got him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go through
oh my
that.
god, what's his name? Because he's a man in the High Castle. I'm gonna have to do this for my own sake because I'm gonna butcher his name if I don't read it.
Yeah, guy's been in a lot. I remember him from a lot of movies in like the.
Because I knew Hiroyuki was part of it. It's Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Yes.
And yeah,
I mean, he's.
If you want to talk about nostalgia, hearing his voice again as Shang Tsung was so satisfying.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad he came back for that because it's not like he isn't like he did Man in the High Castle and all this other stuff.
He did a lot of stuff after Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and the fact that he's like, sure, I'll come and do this voice for this video game.
I mean, I'm sure they paid him well.
They probably paid him well. Yeah, it's not like NetherRealms isn't hurting. They're definitely not hurting for money to bring back. So, I mean, that also maybe it plays a special place in his heart, right? He's like, oh man,
also,
that movie from the 90s.
Yeah, he's probably sitting there being like, it was saying, your soul is mine.
Yeah. It's like his favorite acting line he's ever done.
I mean, I can only imagine the amount of conventions that he must have gone to, and people just kept making him say the line. So it's like,
yeah,
he either hates it now or he loves it. But I guess
he
did redo the role, so I guess he must love it at least to some extent.
Yeah. Oh, he was such a perfect Shang Tsung. So perfect. Just the way he acted that role. Oh, such a good movie.
Last but not least, we are near the end of the show, which means I have to put you through the grinder again.
I always forget this is about to happen. How do I? Oh, all right.
And this time, because Kaylan gave me the idea a couple weeks ago, we are giving you another new, different kind of game.
Oh, what? I can't even prepare.
Eventually I'll bring one of them back, and you'll be like, okay, and then you'll be like, crap, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, but I won't be prepared in advance because I won't know which one you're going to bring back.
Good.
So I'm going to prepare for all of them.
Good.
The stress.
It's like preparing for The Price is Right. You got to be ready for all the things.
$1.
So this time around, I'm going to test your knowledge on when you think games were released.
Oh, I'm going to butcher this. All right.
So I'm at least going to be nice, and they're all in the same console era.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 5 games, and I want you to give me an order from the earliest to the latest when they came out. So these are going to be all NES games.
Okay.
And the list are as follows in alphabetical order, so that way it is completely fair and it's not like me secretly giving you the answer.
Okay, I'm just writing down the 5 games so I don't keep asking.
I trust you.
Okay, trust me.
So, Contra.
Okay, that makes sense.
Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda.
These are all so close. All right.
Metroid. And Super Mario 2.
Wait, the one in...
Super Mario 2.
Oh, all right. Actually, it was a fun game. Super Mario Brothers 2.
Because technically, Super Mario 2 no longer exists. It's just the lost levels to us.
That is true. Contra, Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda. Oh my gosh. All right, just in order, right?
Yeah, just from like when the first one to come out to the last one that came out.
Legend of Zelda. No, Contra, Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, Super Mario, Metroid.
Okay.
I'm so wrong.
February 21st, 1986.
Yes.
Legend of Zelda.
That was my second, so I already screwed up. All right.
August 6th, 1986. Metroid.
Oh man, I butchered this so hard already. That was like my second last one. That was later. That would put that as the last one. I thought, all right.
And this is like when it first came out, period.
Yeah.
February 20th, 1987. Contra.
Oh my god. How did I... All right.
December 18th, 1987. Final Fantasy.
How?
Which means October 9th, 1988, Super Mario 2. Which means I believe you didn't get a single one right.
Not one. Not even one. Everything I thought I knew about gaming, I don't know. I was like, oh, Final Fantasy and Zelda, that's easy. I know exactly when those came out.
Now,
I didn't know.
Just for fun, I'm going to open them up and see if I can find what the US ones were and see if there's any difference.
Imagine my order is correct.
So let's see here. Let me quickly put this together and see how quickly I can do this. Dun 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 dun. Oh wow, that's interesting. Okay. Dun dun dun. Almost. I love how one of them doesn't even have an official number date. It's just this month it came out.
Wow, no one was paying attention.
There we go. Okay. So the list is a little different. So Metroid would have been the first one. It came out in August 15th of 87.
Wow, that's perfect. That was still the last one I said.
Legend of Zelda would have been second, came out August 22nd of 1987.
Ooh, I did have that as
so almost right next to each other. Like literally Metroid and Zelda came out like a week from each other here. Okay. Contra would have been third in March of 87.
Okay.
Oh wait, never mind. Hang on. I messed up. Contra would have been first. That's my bad.
I had Contra as first.
Contra would have been first, then Metroid, then Legend of Zelda.
Okay, so no.
And then Mario 2 in October of 88, same day. It's actually it's the only one on this list that was released the same day.
Okay.
And then all the way in 1990, we got Final Fantasy in June or July 12th.
Are you kidding me?
So they didn't give us Final Fantasy for almost 3 years after they got it in Japan. I looked at
Final Fantasy and I'm like, that was almost a launch title. That was like 85. What is wrong with me? That came out around the same time as like Kirby's Adventure. Why couldn't you give me that? Kirby's Adventure was so late. That one I knew.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
So
no freebies. This isn't Mario RPG, Chris. No freebies.
No freebies. Oh, no matter what, if I'm in Japan or North America, I don't know shit. That's what I've learned today.
Well, sometimes you know, sometimes you don't.
No,
and sometimes you guess and get lucky, and you couldn't even do that for one of them. So
you think one of them I would have got right?
It's almost like, more impressive that you managed to not even get a single one right.
Yeah, like how did I shuffle that around so horribly? And I tried. I didn't even guess. I like educated guessed. I hypothesized my way through the whole thing. It's like Contra is old. That's number one. And then it was like the last one.
I mean, in reality, they're all old.
Yeah, they're all.
They're all 30 plus years old.
I thought you were going to say they all came out in 1986 for a second when you were reading them off. And I was like, oh, so now we're just going by the months? That's impossible.
Maybe one of these days I'll throw one of those in for fun. But April Fool's is a long ways away, so I guess I'll have to wait.
We'll have to stick with this, and I'll just have to prepare.
Suddenly, you're gonna have like literally the release dates of like 1,000 games in your head.
Yeah.
And then I'll realize it, and I'll just start putting really random games in there.
Yes, you will. And then in the end, you'll be like, "Ha! Joke's on you. All of these games don't actually exist. I made them all up." And I'll be like, "Wah!"
And then you'll be so like hyper fixated on stuff. I'm gonna throw you a curveball and just be like, "All right," and you're gonna be like, "Okay." Super Mario 1, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, Mario 64. And you're going to sit there and just glare.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Well, unfortunately, you'll have to wait as well as you guys, the viewers, because this is the end of this episode number 3 of Cartridges and Quarters in the can. Thank you so much for checking us out on this. I hope you guys enjoyed this look back into the retrosphere, aka just reminding yourself how old you are like we do.
Yeah, the sphere sucks.
So, if you guys enjoyed the show, obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to on any audio platform, you can give us a 5-star rating or any sort of a positive review. Please do so. You can follow us at our link tree. That is linktr.ee/pixelplaypodcast, where you can find the links to our Anchor page that shows all our list of audio platforms, our Discord link, which if you want to come and chat with us, you can do that. Our email address, if you want to message us any questions for either this show or the Wednesday show with me and Kaylan. Anything you need to know about us is in that link tree, so please check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. We'll see you, at least if you're watching on the channel or if you're listening to all of our shows, we'll see you on Wednesday at noon when the Pixel Play podcast goes up. Otherwise, every Saturday, 10 a.m., Cartridges and Quarters. We'll see you for episode 4. Have a good one for now, and we win. Fatality.